Thank you, Dr. Dean, for the opportunity to meet you, as well as Kim for putting us on. It's a pretty cool opportunity to have. When I moved up to Yosemite, I had all these grandiose plans to write, and I didn't write a single page. I did finish a book that I started when I was home, so this is kind of a nice springboard back into writing and whatnot. So, this first poem is called Upon Realizing These Constellations Are Not My Own. Writing off yesterday, a discarded draft. In this city, I'd forgotten stars sojourn the night.
I can't hear you. Could you speak up, please?
Yeah. Northern skies once opened to my projections. I forced lines of fiction in the ink between where I was and now, rounding up my possessions, driving north, the chance passing. The lines I meant to write. This next poem is called Sloop, and that comes from the title of my senior thesis, which is something that all literature students at USF write in their final semester. So I worked on this all of last spring semester. Cottonwood seeds drift into pools and settle on soiled stones. Echo of crop rupturing frost. The boys hide behind the produce stand and slide down the banks of Dead Horse Slough. Squatting ankle deep, they crush elderberries between their fingertips, duel with driftwood. The violent current of melted snow has died down, and summer will soon lash the creek bed dry. Marking white sycamore bark with fingerprints, a crime scene, they wash off in the creek, cup red hands, and catch tadpoles in salmon water. By August, those that survive will sprout legs and swim downstream. This is kind of a slew part 2, if you will. The title of the poem comes from some lyrics from a pop punk band called the Lawrence Arms. It's called The Night We Taught Ourselves to Smoke. I left when the pastor preached about the hopeless, hoping, and hopeful, and drove past your candlelight vigil, flickering in my rear view. On the shoulder of West Sac Ave, I severed the October sky with bottle rockets, burning bright, adolescence disappearing across the dark in the walnut orchards. Behind me, flushed red with brake lights, you collapsed. From your fingers fell a small star, faded into the irrigation ditch. We taught ourselves to smoke at 13. Something about those last 10 minutes of class on a Friday afternoon, begging time to ride by a little bit faster. This next one is called Pariah, and it's dedicated to the 924 Gilman over in Berkeley. It's a volunteer run, like, punk rock venue. It's pretty cool. It's been around for 25 years. Pull it shut. We don't need their light where we're going. Growing tired of lit windows reflected on asphalt weekends. I want you to be my punch card companion for the night. Stapled shut, thumbtacked, painted over, coat of flat black. In the morning your ears ring. You're on the cusp of disease and calling me for the final transmission on colored vinyl. If you haven't gathered, I'm originally from the Northern Valley, Chico to be exact, and every time that I drive home, I have to cross the Sacramento River, and it's a place that I go to do a lot of thinking, just to watch all the water move by and know that eventually it's going to be out in the breakers and going to the bay. So this is kind of my homage to the Sacramento River. It's called Codependence at the Sacramento River. Like all the momentous water that starts at a catchment, the crow's feet on the edge of your eyes. How you too have aged. I haven't been able to keep up since you conceived me. Into the alluvial valley, on the middle course, under the hunter's moon, where I heard the harsh twitter of the mud swallow, the clay nest washing downstream, where she would soon be discharged. In the surge, headwaters of cold consolation from disease, you reach through every bend and branching, every rivulet and rill at the delta, draining your embrace to the raging Pacific, washing into the bay, and diving for its prey. The oil-slick cormorant splashed, disappeared, and drowned out the cries of the present moment. And then I have one last poem for you. It's called Ode to Old Highway 32. And Old Highway 32 is kind of the lover's lane of Chico, I guess you could say. That's where the teenagers take their cars and do their thing. So. An obsession with disrepair brought us together. Asphalt, depression riddled, crushed to gravel. The heft of breath in sagging power lines, cowering oaks. All were endemic to you, alone. That first night we spent in the bed of a pickup. You were broken, squandered. No need for road signs. I already knew you'd end at Black Butte Lake. In the absence of surface tension, plummeting, where distance can only be measured in lines on a map. Inverse worlds, the topography of time. And the debris piles up. Transmission towers hum static. Barbed wire fences rust. Dry grass snaps underfoot. After all, I've come.